Hi my swooners, I hope you're having a great month, week or day and that positivity is coming your way. This week we'll be doing another Swoonworthy releases February edition. This video will detail my most anticipated releases in the month of February. If there's any that I've missed or any that you think I might enjoy, please comment down below and I'll have a look because you can never have too many books. Before we move on to the video, if you're feeling generous, please follow my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok where I do more stuff that's book related, from books I'm currently reading to quick reviews and just, you know, day-to-day life as being a book lover. So please follow if you can. So with each book I will be giving the title, publication date, the tropes I believe will be in the book and how excited I am. This excitement scale will be rated out of 3, 1 being I'm not that excited. I put this on this list because I've seen other people talk about it and, you know, I'll eventually read it. It's on my TBR. I'll eventually read it, not this year, but I'll definitely read it. 2 is I'm really excited for it. I will definitely be reading this year. It's been added to my 2023 TBR and I will be reviewing it, loving it or disliking it this year. And then there's 3, which is I've already pre-ordered it. The moment that it arrives, I'll be reading it. I will snatch it out of my postman's hands and I'll be reading it the same day. So let's start. On the 2nd of February, we have 2 releases. The first being Sorrybo by Taleen Voskuni, and this time it's Real by Liang. Sorrybo is all about Na. When Na's boyfriend gets down and proposes to her in a crowded bar, she realizes that it's time to meet someone who shares her same ideas in romance. And Na's mother has the perfect idea to meet a nice boy at the Armenian festival, which is not Na's idea of fun. Na gets dragged to this festival and she thinks it's going to be horrible until she meets someone who's actually going to make it a little bit interesting. A woman named Artfully, sorry if I get the name wrong, who is intriguing and really into her culture. Together, Na discovers more about herself and her culture and she finds herself really falling for her. The only problem is she hasn't really come out as bisexual yet. So already from the blurb, we're getting a sapphic romance and a woman discovering more about her own culture, which, as I've mentioned, I really enjoy reading about and I really enjoy learning about other people's cultures as well. So overall, on the excitement level for this book, I give it a 2 out of 3. This has been added to my 2023 TBR and I will be reviewing it because it sounds amazing. I mean, sapphic romance, discovering yourself and learning about a different culture. It sounds like it's going to be fun. Then, also on the 2nd of February, we have This Time It's Real. This Time It's Real focuses on Elisa Lin. Elisa's life changes overnight when her essay goes viral. She gains popularity. She's, like I said, she goes viral. The only problem is that that whole essay was a lie. To not get caught out, she decides that she's going to ask for help from Kaz Song, a famous actor in her year. He needs help getting into college and writing his college essay, and she needs someone to pretend to be the love of her life. But we all know how this goes. Pretending never really stays pretending. With this book, we're getting fake dating. It clearly has Asian representation in it, and I actually really want to see how Elisa gets out of this one. I really enjoy fake dating and I also really enjoy the trope of when a girl tutors a person who's failing or helps a person who's failing. I really enjoy that storyline. I don't know why. I was never that girl who helped anyone because I was the one failing, but I always really enjoy that. So this book gets a 3 out of 3. It's already been pre-ordered and by the time this video comes out, I think I probably would have already read it. So look forward for that review. So on the 3rd of February, we have the highly anticipated sequel, the amazing sequel of the amazing book, The Wrong Bride, The Temporary Wife by Catharina Maura. I just can't. I'm so excited about this book. Spoiler alert, this already gets a 3 out of 3. I adore this book. I already know I'm going to adore this book. That's how like excited I am for this book. I already know I'm gonna love it. This is gonna be one of my 5 stars in 2023. Like, no questions asked, no judgment. There's no doubt in my mind that this will be a 5 star. If it's anything less than a 5 star, my next video will be, wow, I was wrong. This book focuses on Luca Windsors, who is in a bit of a pickle. See, his grandmother has set him up to get married, and because of this marriage, his secretary quits, Valentina. Luca comes up with this crazy idea that him and Valentina should get married so that he doesn't end up marrying this very high society influency type girl that's just not for him. Together with him and Valentina come up with 3 rules. 1, sleep in the same bed every night. 2, don't tell anyone in the office. And 3, don't fall in love with each other. But as time goes on, Luca is finding himself in a pickle as he doesn't want this arrangement to end. What started off as a fake marriage is turning into real love. If you can't already tell, I really enjoy fake dating. But you know what I love even more? Fake marriages. Like marriages of convenience. Marriages where it's very clear that like this is an arranged marriage or an arrangement so that we can both benefit, but we end up falling in love. Whoever came up with that storyline needs... I just hope they had a good life, because honestly, I love it. I love it so much. It's so good, and it's just... it's like my little thing that I love. I adore it. So, like I said at the beginning, this is a 3 out of 3. The moment it arrives on my Kindle, no one talk to me. No one try and find me, because all I will be doing is reading about Luca and Valentina and finding out how they fall in love and the drama that comes. If you have never read The Wrong Bride, stop this video, go read it. Like, I adore that book. I have loved a lot of Catharina's books. I have devoured literally, I think, like most of her collection, so it's no surprise that I'm excited about this book. Like, the moment I finished The Wrong Bride, I had pre-ordered The Temporary Wife. I was like, this is the book for me. I adore it. On the 7th of February, we have 4 book releases. The first one being Radiant Sin by Katie Roberts, Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey, Just My Type by Falon Ballard, For Her Consideration by Amy Spalding, and Not the Plan by Gia De Cadenet. The first book, Radiant Sin, is the 4th installment of the Dark Apocalypse series. You may have seen this series on TikTok, Twitter, basically everywhere that people talk about books. So I'm not surprised that this has been on a lot of TBRs. So let's find out what it's all about. Radiant Sin follows Cassandra. Cassandra has been treated very poorly by the 13 and all she wants is out. She really just wants to leave Olympus with her sister. And that's when Apollo comes in. Apollo gives Cassandra a sort of arrangement. He says to her, please come and join me for this week-long retreat and be my date. Cassandra says yes, on the condition that Apollo uses his newfound influence that he will gain from this retreat to help her and her sister leave. But their new relationship has a lot more impact than either of them thought. And we all know that the 13 doesn't like people making an impact. I really enjoy Greek mythology retellings. However, I read the first book of the Katie Roberts series, Dark Olympus. I enjoyed it, and then I read the second one and I enjoyed that. But I never read the third, like it just didn't appeal to me. So sadly, this book only gets a 1 out of 3 on the excitement scale. I will put it on my TBR and I will get to it. I know I will eventually read it one day. It's just, it'll be read one day, like, I don't know when. Then we have Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. This book follows Hayley and Julian. Hayley fell hard for Julian at the age of 14 when they nearly kissed. Several years later, Julian's back in their hometown, and Hayley thinks that she finally will get the chance to have that kiss when she is invited to revamp his estate. However, the grumpy professor that Julian has now turned into is not the boy that Hayley remembers. It gets even more complicated when Hayley remembers that she left a secret admirer letter for Julian, which Julian finds, and now he's obsessing over this secret admirer, but can't seem to get Hayley, the annoyingly sunshiny girl, out of his mind. This book sounds interesting. The whole secret admirer theme is just not really for me. Yeah. Overall, this book gets a 1 out of 3 for me. I have been recently burned by a Tessa Bailey book, and so I'm gonna put this on my TBR, see what other people say about it, and possibly read it. Our third book is Just My Type. Just My Type focuses on Lana Parker. Lana Parker has been in relationship after relationship after a disastrous breakup in high school. So when she finds herself newly single, she decides that she needs a break, both professionally and personally. However, this gets ruined when her high school ex, Seth, takes an assignment on the same website that Lana works on. It gets even worse when they're both fighting for their dream job and they get new assignments. They have to write an article about their different dating styles at the moment. So Lana has to write about being single and staying single, while Seth has to write about being boyfriend material. So this couple is together again, fighting for the same job, but they can't seem to stop the chemistry between them. So this book has work rivals, exes, second chance. Is it wrong that I kind of want Lana to stay single already? Like, I haven't read the book, but I think it would be interesting if she just turns around and is like, you know what, I'm just gonna stay single. I like being the single life. Like, we never really see that in a romance book, but I'm guessing that the feats of a romance is more about like self-discovery, I'm guessing. Yeah. So this book gets a 1 out of 3 for me. It's on my TBR. I added it to this video because I've seen a lot of people talk about it and lots of people are excited for this. I don't know, the blurb sounds interesting, and I really want to get into work rivals. Like, I really want that to be one of my new favorite tropes / themes in a book. But yeah, this will just be added to my TBR. So the fourth book is For Your Consideration by Amy Spalding. Now, if you want this on paperback, this won't be coming out until the 2nd of March, but on Kindle, it'll be coming out the 7th of February. So, woo, for Kindle readers. For Her Consideration focuses on Nina Rice. Nina Rice has written romance, Friends, and her dreams of writing a TV show out of her life after a horrendous breakup 3 years ago. She's content until Ari Fox, a movie star, gets in contact with her, wanting her to write a TV show. Suddenly, Nina is back into her old scene. She's with her old crew, writing scripts, and Ari can't seem to stop flirting with her. The flirting turns into romance, but Nina has to really ask herself, can she balance reconnecting with her old crew, writing a TV script, and a romance with a movie star? It seems too good to be true. And will Nina muck it up? Can she help herself? Celebrity romances. I have a weakness for celebrity romances. So, for me, this is a 3 out of 3. I have already ordered my paperback to arrive on the 2nd of March, and it's a sapphic romance as well. And we all know how much I love sapphic romances. I mean, honestly, sapphic romance, celebrity, and Nina. I'm hoping Nina has like an arc of like self-discovery and self-worth, you know, like I really enjoy those types of arcs. I also just think this is going to be really cool. I really enjoy books that are on like TV show sets and movie sets. There's a couple that I've enjoyed in the past, like You Had Me at Ola, Real by Kennedy Ryan. Like I just love those books, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one because I think this is going to be really cool and really interesting. So this gets a 3 out of 3 on my part. Then we have Not the Plan, which follows Isadora Maurice. Isadora Maurice works for a political party and nothing stands in her way. She is okay fighting lobbyists and fighting for what she believes in, and she is one step closer to getting her dream job. That is until she meets Kareem. Now, Kareem is everything she wants in a man. He's smart, he's sexy, he has the same beliefs as her, but he's also working for her boss's rival. Now, she knows she shouldn't go there. She knows she shouldn't go there. She knows this. But can she help herself? I mean, like I said, he's hot. I mean, I say go for it, Isadora, but that's just me. Like, I wouldn't even give a crap. I'd be like, work is from 9 to 5, but after that, call me, you know what I'm saying? This, for me, sounds really interesting. I have not read a lot of political romances or romances that feature politics in it, and this is American politics as well, which I'm not familiar with, and it's forbidden. It's forbidden romance. Forbidden secret romance. Forbidden secret romance in an office. I mean, 3 out of 3. 3 out of 3. I'm going to love it. I'm going to enjoy it. It's going to be so good. I feel it. I have a feeling that this is going to be amazing. Just a small feeling. Then, 14th of February, we have another 4 releases. Yay, 4 releases for Valentine's Day. If you're celebrating with someone, congratulations. If you're single like me, at least we have new books to read, right? Like, come on, yay! Either way. So, these books are End of Story by Kaylee Scott, Take the Lead, A Dance Off by Alexis Daria, Isha Unscripted by Sajni Patel, and finally, Always the Almost by Edward Underhill. So, firstly, we have End of Story. End of Story follows Susie. When Susie inherits her beloved auntie's house, she doesn't expect to run into a familiar face, Lars, her ex's best friend. Now, Susie does not want to see him, especially since he witnessed the very humiliating breakup that Susie went through. Whilst Lars is renovating the house, things are awkward, but things go from awkward to unbelievable when Lars discovers within the wall a divorce certificate for Lars and Susie, and the date is set 10 years into the future. Now, when Susie and Lars tries to figure out what is going on, they can't help their attraction for each other, and they start to question, is it that crazy that they ended up together and got married? I think they're forgetting that they also got divorced, but either way, when I first saw this book, I did not expect the twist of there being sort of like a time travel futuristic element in it. I'm actually quite interested to see what is up with that divorce certificate, like what happened in the future. Why did they get divorced? How did they end up together? How was their marriage? Like, this is 10 years into the future as well. That's a very long period of time. So in this 10 years, they got together, had a marriage, and then got divorced. It's quite mind-boggling. I'm actually quite interested to see how this book goes, and therefore I'm giving it a 2 out of 3 because I really do want to read it this year, just because of that time element and the mystery of the divorce certificate. Do you have any theories? Write down below if you have any theories about how that divorce certificate ended up there, or why they got divorced in the first place. I feel like that's also a very good question. Yeah, it just sounds really interesting. Take the Lead comes out on the 14th of February on Kindle, but the 28th of March on paperback. So if you are looking for the paperback, I'm really sorry, you're gonna have to wait just a little bit more. Gloria Morales wants a win. She's been starring in a hit dance show for 4 seasons and hasn't won. And when she finds out that her partner is the new star of an Alaskan wilderness show, she has a feeling that this is her time to shine. Now, Stone, on the other hand, does not want to do the show. However, he'll do anything for his family, and so he signs up for it. Gloria thinks that she's finally going to win until she catches wind that the company has only put them two together because they want them to have a romance. Now, Gloria's down to do it, and like I said, Stone's going to do it for his family. So they team up together to fake this romance. Neither wants to fake a romance for the camera, but the explosive chemistry between them is undeniable. So as things start to heat up on the dance floor for Gloria and Stone, the tabloids catch on to their whirlwind romance, and the question lies, can the spotlight ruin their budding romance? I really love the concept of this book. I have read previous books by this author. I read You Had Me at Hola. I hope I did that as dramatically as it sounds because, yeah. Which I really love and I really enjoyed, and I read that book in a day, so I'm really looking forward to reading Take the Dance. So this gets a 3 out of 3 on the excitement scale, as I have already pre-ordered my paperback, and hopefully you will read it too, because I really like this author. I really like the books that they write, so go support if you can. So Isha Unscripted follows Isha. Isha is the black sheep of the family. Her parents constantly remind her how she doesn't have a career or doesn't have a degree, but that is fine because she's working on her script and she believes in herself, until she finally gets the script in front of producers and it doesn't work out the way she thought it was going to be. Feeling down and out, her cousin reminds her that she has a link. She was taught by Matthew McConaughey. Now all she has to do is find him, give him her script, and next minute, boom bam, she has a TV show. The only problem is, how is she going to find Matthew McConaughey? Well, the first thing on her list is to have some liquid courage, so she goes to the bar and meets this very cute bartender who decides to help her with her quest. And along this quest to find Matthew, there's hijinks and possibly a romance with the very cute bartender. You have the themes of black sheep of the family, a cute bartender, hijinks as well. I mean, this girl is trying to find Matthew McConaughey. It's also kind of cool that she was taught by Matthew McConaughey at the University of Texas, which is something that's actually kind of cool. I don't know, I think I'd just be bragging about that for the rest of my life, like, oh, I was taught by Matthew McConaughey, you know what I mean? Like but overall, this book gets a 1 out of 3 for me. This will be on my TBR. I just don't particularly find myself drawn to books that feature like real life celebrities. I'm not the type of person to be like, oh yay, grab, when it comes to books like that. It sounds really interesting and I do want to eventually read it, but probably next year or the year after that. And finally, we have Always the Almost. 17-year-old trans boy Miles only has 2 New Year's resolutions: get his ex-boyfriend Shane back, and 2, beat his arch nemesis in a piano competition. So Miles does not have time for anything else. But when he bumps into proudly out, ask your pronouns Eric, Miles can't help the butterflies in his stomach. And when Eric and Miles pretend to be a couple to get invites to this couples only Valentine's Day party, which might I add, that is just so unfair. Okay, us single people, we would also like to party. Okay, got triggered there, I'm sorry. Their one kiss turns into a real kiss, and Miles finds himself in a possible new relationship. But with everything going on, can Miles really afford to have a new relationship? I really enjoy books like this. Like, I read the Passing Play book last year and fell in love. I really enjoyed it. It was so good. Actually, I think I read it 2 years ago, but either way, that's one of my favourite books. And I feel like this book is going to hurt a bit. Like, I feel like I'm going to cry at some points, because I felt that way during the Passing Playbook, and I don't think that book was intended to make people cry, but I was really emotional at just the sort of discrimination the hero faced. So this book for me gets a 2 out of 3. I am going to read it this year, and I will review it, and I'll let you know what I think about the book, because I think this book's going to be really interesting, just from the whole standpoint of the subject matter and the romance. And yeah, I feel like Miles is going to have a lot to go through, and that's actually going to break my heart a bit. 21st February, we have 2 books. Firstly, Artfully Yours by Joanna Lowell, and Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Scott. Artfully Yours focuses on Nina. So Nina finally has the money for her own bakery. Unfortunately, her brother's carelessness lands her and the paintings that she did for him under the eyes of London's most notorious art critic. And that art critic is Alan. Alan knows the paintings are fake, but what he doesn't know is that Nina has had a hand in creating them. So when he offers Nina a place in his household, Nina accepts, knowing that this is the most dangerous position of her life. She is living in the same house as the man who wants to put her in prison for fraudulent paintings. The only problem is no one told Nina's heart not to fall for the man who's trying to arrest her for the fraudulent paintings. And that's where the story begins. I love this. You've got the historical romance, you have the mystery and sort of the suspense of whether Nina will get caught. What will Alan do when or if he finds out that Nina's the one who's had a hand in creating these fraudulent paintings? We have this entire the suspense in this is going to be so good. The suspense, the back and forth. I just have a feeling that this is going to be really interesting. And I really do love detective novels with an historical background. I really enjoy books like this. I've read a couple of them, and this time we know who the criminal is, but I just want to know how or if Alan finds out. And I really want to see the chemistry between them as well, because this is like slightly hidden identity, but not really, because she's just trying not to go to jail, especially because her brother's the one who got her in trouble from the sounds of it. It's her brother's carelessness that got her in trouble. My girl just wants to open up a bakery, okay? All she wants to do is open up a little bakery, sell her little cakes, and have fun. And yet her brother is the one that got her into trouble. I mean, is that fair? Is that fair? Okay, she finally has the money for her bakery, and then her brother comes in and just ruins it all. He ruins it all. He ruins it. I just feel so bad for my girl already, and I don't even know if she's gonna go defensive or not. I already feel defensive. I feel as though they should have me as a lawyer, because I'd just be like, not guilty. I mean, is this even a conversation? She was just trying to survive. All right, it's hard for a woman out here. If you can't tell, this book for me is going to get a 3 out of 3. I feel as though this is going to be really fun. It's an historical romance, and I need one of those. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. Then we have Things We Hide from the Light, which is the sequel to Things We Never Got Over. And I've seen this book everywhere. It's actually on my TBR because so many people have talked about it. I've seen mixed reviews about this book. I already know some people are really hyped for the sequel, and other people are like, meh. So I really just need to read this, actually. It's been here for a while now. I just really need to read this. Things We Hide from the Light follows the police chief, Nash, who is currently hunting down a criminal, but there's a problem. It's really hard to hunt down a criminal in a town where everyone thinks the law is just guidelines. Like, everyone's just like, meh, when it comes to the law. So Nash's problems are a lot. And it doesn't help that Lena moves next door. Now Lena moves in, cat sitting and basically taking care of the house, and Lena just has one goal, which is to leave. All she wants to do is leave this town. But the more she cat sits and the more she gets this town, the more she feels herself being pulled to stay. Nash and Lena at first are friends until Nash finds out Lena's secret, and their friendship soon turns into enemies. But everyone knows that the line between love and hate is super thin. I wonder what Lena's secret is. I mean, maybe it's in the first book, but because I haven't read it, I don't know. No spoilers in the comments, please. No spoilers in the comments. Please. Overall, this book for me is actually going to get a 1. I've seen this book pop up a lot, but because I haven't read the first book, I just don't have the same excitement or really like need to read the sequel. I guess when I finally read the first book, that scale might go up to like a 2 or even a 3 actually. Maybe if I read the book before the publication date, I will be like, oh, it's a 3, I need it immediately. But right now it's a 1. Then finally on the 28th we have The Neighbour Favour by Christina Forrest. I have seen this book a lot on Black Romance Book Talk, and oh it sounds good. Just wait. So you have Lily Green, this shy bookish girl who goes back and forth with her favourite author for months until he ghosts her, and then Lily Green has to go to her sister's wedding and she needs a date, so she asks her neighbour Nick, who just so happens to be the author that ghosted her. Now Nick realizes that Lily is the same woman that he fell in love with over emails months ago, and Lily just asked him to be her date or fake date, it's not really clarified, for her sister's wedding. Nick knows not to complicate any of this or like complicate anything, so he decides that he's going to help Lily find a date, but we all know he's already in love with her. Like, this is really complicated. So unwilling to complicate things, he agrees to set her up with somebody. The only problem is he can't seem to forget about her. I mean, this is complicated. He turns around and is like, I'm going to uncomplicate things and not really like complicate it and blah, 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 blah. This is already complicated. Boy, I'm sorry, it's already complicated. You're in love. I've pre-ordered this book, so this is a 3 out of 3. I really enjoy the synopsis of it already. I really love introverted, shy heroines because I relate to them a lot more. And I really want things to work out for Lily. I mean, like, can you imagine how heartbroken you'd be if your favourite author just ghosts you? Especially if you were starting to build a connection for them. Like, I really want to know why Nick ghosted her. Like, why did Nick just turn around and say, okay, I'm going to stop replying to Lily's emails? That's like the biggest mystery for me. I want answers. And that is the reason why this book is a 3 out of 3. When it arrives, don't talk to me. Don't even look at me. I will be reading this book. So that is it. That is all of the February releases that I am highly anticipating. Please let me know down in the comments if I forgot something, or if there's any books that you think will be amazing for me to read, and maybe I'll add them to my TBR, you never know. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a lovely day. Bye my Sooners.